Spider-Man can lift 10 tons and dodge bullets, but that's not his real power. The single most powerful moment in his history has nothing to do with spider strength. It has everything to do with one simple human trait: the refusal to give up. It's a moment where Peter Parker, trapped, beaten, and left to die, proves that his greatest superpower is his unbreakable will. This isn't just a fight scene. It's the crystallization of his entire character. It's a moment that defines him more than any spider bite ever could. To understand why, we have to go back to one of the darkest chapters of his life. It's a story that pushed him past his limits and forged him into the hero we know today. Before the lift, there was the fall. To truly understand why the Amazing Spider-Man number 33 is such a triumph, you have to understand the despair of the two issues that came before it. This wasn't just another villain of the month. This was personal. The Master Planner Saga was crafted by the legendary team of Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, and it was designed, quite literally, to break Peter Parker. It all starts with Aunt May. She falls gravely ill. In a gut-wrenching twist, Peter discovers the cause is a blood transfusion he gave her months ago. His own radioactive blood, the very source of his powers, is now poisoning the person he loves most. The guilt is crushing. The one time he used his unique biology for a simple human good, it backfired catastrophically. This personal weight is heavier than any wreckage he's ever lifted. On top of it all, he's just started at Empire State University, and he's failing miserably at fitting in. He's so consumed by worry, he completely ignores his new classmates. This includes the first appearances of Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn, who immediately write him off as an arrogant snob. This is Peter Parker at rock bottom. He's failing as a student, as a friend, and worst of all, as a nephew. His life is falling apart. And right into this personal hell, a new villain emerges, the Master Planner. He's a mysterious figure, pulling the strings on high-tech robberies across the city. One of the items they steal is an experimental isotope, ISO-36. This isotope is the only thing that might save Aunt May's life. Now, the clock is ticking. Spider-Man's mission isn't just about stopping a crime anymore. It's a desperate race to save his last remaining parent from a death he caused. He throws himself into the hunt with a ferocity we'd rarely seen. Ditko and Lee give us a Spider-Man who isn't quipping. He is enraged, tearing through the underworld, fueled by guilt and desperation. The trail leads him to the Master Planner, and the villain is revealed to be his old nemesis, Dr. Octopus. Their battle is brutal. It ends in Doc Ock's underwater base. Spider-Man is exhausted, physically and emotionally spent. Seeing Spidey's raw fury, Doc Ock actually seems scared for the first time, but he still manages to escape, bringing the entire base crashing down on top of his foe. And that's where we find our hero, not noble or triumphant, but utterly defeated, trapped. This is where the issue opens, not with a bang, but with the slow gurgle of a hero drowning. Spider-Man is pinned to the floor by tons of steel machinery. Water is pouring from the collapsed ceiling, rising from his waist to his chest. And just a few feet away, close enough to be torture, is the case with the isotope, the cure for Aunt May. Ditko's artwork here is a masterclass in claustrophobia. The panels are tight, focusing on Spider-Man's mask, the dripping water, the immense, unmoving weight. For 5 full pages, a quarter of the entire comic, it's just a man refusing to die. Stan Lee's narration lays Peter's soul bare. I've failed, he thinks. Just now, when it counted the most, I've failed. He pushes, but the machine doesn't budge. He is at his absolute physical limit. Any other hero might find a second wind. For Peter, there's nothing left in the tank. His body has given up, but his mind hasn't. As the water rises, his mind flashes with images that haunt him. He sees Uncle Ben, a ghostly reminder of his first, greatest failure, the failure that created Spider-Man in the first place. He thinks about how, if he gives up now, he'll be responsible for Aunt May's death too. That guilt, that responsibility, It becomes his fuel. Then, he sees Aunt May's face, frail in her hospital bed. What ignites inside him isn't a superpower. It's love. It's desperation. It's pure, stubborn, human will. The narration becomes a mantra of defiance. Anyone can win a fight when the odds are easy, he thinks. It's when the going's tough, when there seems to be no chance. That's when it counts, he screams, his voice echoing in the empty flooding room. And then he pushes. Ditko draws it not as one explosive effort, but as a grinding, agonizing war of inches. You see every muscle straining. You feel the metal begin to groan. The water is over his head now. A small gap appears. The narration is just a frantic, desperate fight to hold on. Everything going black. My head aching. Hold on. I must hold on. Finally, in one of the most famous splash pages in comic book history, he does it. With a final, desperate roar, Spider-Man is on his knees, holding the impossible weight above his head. He has lifted the physical embodiment of his own failure and despair. He hurls it aside and grabs the serum. His leg is badly injured, but as he begins his escape, his spirit is utterly unbreakable. So, why is this single most powerful moment in Spider-Man's long history? Because it proves his spider powers are the least interesting thing about him. The comic makes it clear. He's at his physical limit. Brute strength isn't enough. This victory wasn't about the proportional strength of a spider. It was about the disproportional will of a man. This one sequence distills the entire idea of Spider-Man into 5 perfect pages. Unlike gods like Thor or aliens like Superman, Peter Parker is defined by his limits. He's always struggling with money, exhaustion, and self-doubt. His heroism isn't about being strong enough to win every time. It's about choosing to fight even when he knows he's weak enough to lose. This scene is the ultimate expression of that choice. It's a battle of pure will against cold, hard reality. Reality says the machine is too heavy. Reality says he's drowning. Reality says he has already failed. And Peter Parker simply says, no. More than that, the metaphor here is crystal clear. Peter isn't just lifting a machine. He's lifting the crushing weight of his guilt over Uncle Ben. By saving Aunt May, he feels he can finally atone for the mistake that created him. This moment brings his character full circle. It transforms him from a guilt-ridden kid into a true hero. He now understands that responsibility isn't a burden to be carried, but a source of strength to be used. The story doesn't even stop there. After this incredible feat, he's exhausted and injured, but he still has to fight his way through a dozen of Doc Ock's goons. It's a raw, instinctual battle that's just as impressive as the lift itself. He is simply refusing to quit. This moment has echoed for decades. It inspired similar scenes in the spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, and even in the MCU's Spider-Man Homecoming, when Peter was trapped under debris by the Vulture. But the original is still the most powerful because of its raw simplicity. It's just a man, alone in a flooding room with the weight of the world on his shoulders, deciding not to give in. In the end, Peter gets the serum to the hospital, and Aunt May is saved. As he limps away, a doctor remarks on the irony of it all. He says it's a shame that teens look up to a mysterious, unknown thrill-seeker like Spider-Man, instead of real, upstanding idols like Peter Parker. It's the perfect ironic ending. The world sees Spider-Man as the hero, but the real hero was always the man under the mask. The lift is more than a feat of strength. It's a visual metaphor for the entire character. It is the definitive statement that with great power must also come an absolutely unbreakable will. It shows us that true strength isn't about avoiding hardship, but having the courage to push through it. It's not about never falling down. It's about always getting back up. And that is why, in a history full of spectacular moments, this remains the most powerful one of all. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like the video, comment with your favorite Spider-Man moment. Thanks for watching. Until next time.